Do you see any advantages for businesses or advantages for the marketeer as we step into this new era of, data privacy? Libby, why don't you kick that one off?
I really do see the GDPR moment as a huge opportunity for brands to actually get it right. And there's lots of work to be done to build data warehousing, governance, practices, procedures, and to do all the things that the rules require. But once brands are compliant, I think they then have the opportunity to go beyond that and actually use a better data management regime to do a better job of serving customers, whether it's from a marketing side or delivering customer care. Better data means better outcomes for people.
And who, around the table in your companies, who's accountable to the board and CEO? Is it the CMO? Have there been new roles created?
Interestingly, in HSBC, it started with the legal department for a question of compliance, it's obvious, but marketing is really at the forefront now, because it's a question of we want to understand the client, and who understands the client with the insight is marketing. And if we want to do the right usage of the data, marketing can really help to really target rightly the customers with the right message at the right time. And so marketing it's a really good opportunity for marketing GDPR, and so in terms of the legitimate position that we have in the organization.
And have you got the skills in your team to step up? We keep hearing that the role of marketing is going to get tougher, permission-based, consent-based.
I think we have skills in the team to be responsive to what the rules are going to require. I think, but going beyond that, it puts much greater emphasis on having analytics and people who can do sophisticated customer insight. You hear terms like AI and machine learning and big data, and all of those require a skill set that I think the typical marketer is developing. But it also requires a great partnership with people in IT and legal and all different parts of the business. So for me, that's a fantastic opportunity for the marketers to have a seat at the table when critical decisions are getting made.
And what sort of conversations are happening in your boardrooms on this? Is it still the compliance sort of theme, or is it shifting?
Certainly in our organisation, we're still on the compliance theme, and it's very much being led by legal and commercial as a topic for compliance across the business. And within our business, there are some challenges over and above the marketing systems that have to be absolutely put in place before we go broader.
In our life science industry, it's almost de facto something that you have to manage, because when you run clinical trials, it has to be compliant with regulatory requirements. We have to de-identify and anonymize data as well. So we have a chief data officer and his team, basically data scientists, that are really building the governance model around how we manage data. That said, from a marketing perspective, we also need to speak their language, which is a very specific language, I can say. So we invented some roles in my team, like a marketing data scientist, who can understand what they are trying to achieve and what are the tools and systems they are using, and translate that into insights that we can really use from a marketing perspective to deliver more thought leadership. Because the value of the data is good for the customers, but also good to provide insight for the entire industry. When you have that treasure trove, you need to do it in a very careful way, and this is why you need new talents.
And I think we could almost describe it as sort of a perfect storm, GDPR plus, all the media attention around Cambridge Analytica and Facebook and, the privacy generally. So do you expect things to change in your organisations as a result of this, or do you think it's going to be one of those things that will pass and everybody will get back to normal?
I think it's permanent. I think it's permanently elevated the discussion and made many, many more people aware of the issues, but also the opportunities around data. my sense is that we all rely on platforms, whether it's for advertising or doing customer service, whatever it might be. People have, I think, a better understanding of platforms now and what they can and can't do and how they may need to be more governed over time. But I think this topic and the concerns around it are here to stay.
I think it's interesting, even as sort of consumers ourselves, the brands that we love that are handling this well, and the others who seem to just be going through a checking the box exercise. As we move beyond May and we start to look at things like customers having access to how the data is used and what data you store, do you see that as an engagement opportunity? Do you think this could be turned into a way to get closer to our customers?
I think it's speaking as working for a bank, and trust is super important with banks. It's absolutely critical, and this is another way of showing to our clients that they can trust what we are doing, and that we have a very wise custody of their data, because we know a lot about the clients. We do their transactions, we do their financing, we do their investments. So it's where we really need to be totally transparent about what we are doing with the data. Also, something which is really important, it raises the discipline of the organization, because in large organizations such as mine, there are many touch points, and we are communicating, many people are communicating with the clients. And now with GDPR and all the new technologies, we are thinking that we should be more disciplined. We should reach the customer just at the right time, at the right moment for the right things and for the right advice. And there is a really urgent call within my organization to really curate how we communicate with the clients and when. So I think it's a really important thing for the market, for us, and for the customers.